There's a reason some homes go for cheap, a reason some properties seem perfect on paper, yet the moment you step inside, the air feels too still, the shadows stretch a little too long. Maybe there's a reason the previous owners left in a hurry. Maybe it's just the creaks in the floorboards, or maybe it's something else. But what if it's not ghosts or ghouls you need to fear? What if the true horror is made of blood and bone and knows your name? This is one of those stories. And if you've ever felt eyes on you when you were alone in your own home, you may want to sleep with the lights on tonight.
I bought the house because I thought it would be a fresh start, a quiet place to raise my 2 boys. No more late-night calls, no more looking over my shoulder. After what my ex-husband put us through, the stalking, the threats, the creeping paranoia, I just wanted peace. And for a while, I had it. The house was older, tucked at the edge of a cul-de-sac. Nothing fancy, but it had a fenced yard, a basement, and just enough charm to feel like home. The realtor said it was an off-market deal, and the price was strangely perfect, almost like it was made for me. The boys adjusted well. My younger son, Micah, who's on the spectrum, loved the vent in his room, said it whispered to him at night. I thought it was creepy and weird, but brushed it off as just his imagination. Kids do that, right? But then, things started to change. It started small, a kitchen chair out of place, the back door found unlocked when I knew I'd locked it, food disappearing. At first I blamed the boys, until entire containers of leftovers vanished. I started to smell things like old rot, like when you haven't washed out your trash bins in a year kind of smell. It would come and go. Then Micah started waking me up at night. Not just once, but multiple times. "Mom," he'd say, tugging my hand. "There's someone in the vent. I saw his eyes again." I thought maybe it was trauma, maybe the move unsettled him. But one night I couldn't sleep. I was lying in bed around 2 a.m. when I heard it. Breathing. Slow. Wet. Just behind my bedroom wall. I pressed my ear to the drywall. It stopped. I started checking the entire house every morning before work. Closets, crawl spaces, even under the beds. The kids thought I was being paranoid, and maybe I was. But when I came home one Thursday and found the upstairs bathroom light on, with muddy handprints on the edge of the sink, I knew it wasn't just in my head. Someone was living in my house. That night, I made sure to lock the doors, and even barricaded them with our dining room chairs. I triple-checked that every window was latched. I barely slept. I laid awake, every floorboard groan and wall pop made my pulse jump. Around 3 a.m., I heard movement. Soft, deliberate, coming from inside the walls. Like someone crawling through the bones of the house itself. I gently got up and put my ear to the wall. Again, stillness. The next day at work, I couldn't concentrate. I started digging into the property's history, scanning old permit records out of desperation. The house was listed as built in the late 1960s, but something didn't add up. There were a series of renovation permits filed about 11 months before I moved in. Plumbing, HVAC rerouting, structural reinforcement, and they were all pulled by the same name, my ex-husband's. At first, I thought it had to be a coincidence, but then I saw it. His signature on a scanned permit form. My skin went cold. He'd somehow gotten involved with this house. But how? I called my old realtor in a panic. After enough coaxing, she mentioned something odd. She hadn't originally had this house in mind for me. She'd received an anonymous tip from someone claiming to have the perfect off-market listing for a single mother in my exact price range. It was heavily discounted, too good to pass up. And I didn't. He knew what I could afford. knew what kind of neighborhood I'd want, and worse, he'd arranged for me to find it. I thought I was escaping him. Instead, I moved into a house he'd modified. I played right into his creepy hands, with hidden access points. I had my friend Jen pick up the boys from school, and that night I tore through the place like a madwoman. Every closet, every vent, every creak suddenly suspicious. And there, in the garage, behind an old shelving unit bolted to the wall, I found it, a panel, loosened from behind. I pried it open and shined a flashlight inside. The smell hit me first. Stale sweat, rotted food, mildew. That same disgusting smell that infiltrated my house from time to time. The crawl space beyond was just tall enough for someone to crouch, and in the corner, a sleeping bag, a toothbrush, cans of soup, a notepad. I reached for the pad and flipped through it, pages and pages of writing. She's leaving at 8:05 to get the kids to school. She got back home at 6. She looks so peaceful, sexy when she sleeps. Micah saw me again. That's when I heard it, breathing. Slow, heavy, right behind me. I spun around and caught only a flash, movement in the dark, vanishing deeper into the crawl space. I screamed and ran into the car, calling the police with shaking hands. When they arrived, they didn't believe me at first, thought I was hysterical. But when they broke through the wall panel and followed the crawl space beneath the living room, they found what I couldn't bear to admit. There was a false vent installed. One that didn't connect to the HVAC, just a clear line of sight into my bedroom, and another into Micah's. It took them almost an hour to find him. He'd slipped out through a utility duct and into the woods behind the property, but they caught him. My ex-husband. He was filthy, covered in bug bites and scabs, and still smiling when they shoved him into the back of the cruiser. "Told you I'd never leave," he murmured, eyes locked on mine. His smile slow and possessive, like the handcuffs didn't matter. That night, the police sealed the crawl space and I had new locks installed. We moved in with my sister the next morning. I never stepped foot in that house again. Sometimes, when the wind blows just right through a vent, I swear I hear breathing. A vent, a whisper. An empty place to hide that wasn't empty after all.
She thought she'd left him in the past, but some obsessions don't die. They crawl into the walls and wait until you're home, alone, and the house isn't. Sleep tight.
Like if you're still breathing.
Subscribe before it's too late!
Hit the bell, it tolls for thee.